Elon Musk and 50 Cent just dropped a truth bomb that has the entire industry shaking. Diddy isn't the boss. He's just a distraction. And the real monster pulling the strings makes the Epstein list look like child's play. If you thought Diddy was the final boss, you've been looking at the wrong map this whole time. Elon Musk isn't just talking anymore. He's allegedly teaming up with 50 Cent to expose who's really been controlling this entire empire from the shadows. And here's what makes this absolutely insane. While 50 has been loud about the parties and dropping his documentary, Elon has something way more powerful. The data, the receipts, and access to thousands of private DMs from Twitter, now X, that could burn Hollywood to the ground. You're about to see the three-level pyramid of power. We're starting at the bottom with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Then we're moving up to the industry mogul like Oprah and Clive Davis in the middle. And at the very top, there's one name nobody saw coming. A name that's been hiding in plain sight.
I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, up them, Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do...
Before we climb this entire time, this isn't about rappers or record labels anymore. This goes all the way to the pulpit, and 50 Cent has been screaming about it for months. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear is going to change everything you thought you. New.interview.1.07 1.48 before we climb this pyramid. You need to understand why Diddy's case matters way beyond hip-hop. And yeah, I'm not going to cover his bio data. I'm just going to cover what you clicked for. So,
how does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
As we all know, 50 Cent dropped his Diddy documentary called The Reckoning because nobody else in the industry was speaking up. They were either scared, complicit, or being straight up controlled. And 50 said something that hit differently. He told the world that if he stayed silent, the entire hip-hop culture would look like they endorsed Diddy's behavior. There was no one else being vocal, so he had to step up. Interview.2.17/3.11 now. Here's where things get really dark. Diddy allegedly had 250 hidden cameras installed in his house. Yeah, you heard that right. 250 cameras recording everything at those freak-off parties. Industry insiders like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal confirmed this wasn't just for fun. Diddy kept footage as blackmail insurance. That's how he stayed powerful. That's how he kept everyone in check. And right now, these tapes are reportedly being shopped around Hollywood, and big names are absolute.
The Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal where whether he was doing it himself. Conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically, and yet they still fed him kids. And like, Where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be.
They had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams was talking about it on
Exactly.
on that podcast.
But like who's feeding them the kids? You know.
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when you know, because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood, and you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these different, you're like,
Absolutely panicking. But why does Elon Musk's involvement change everything? Because Elon owns X, which used to be Twitter. That means he has access to years and years of private DMIs between celebrities, politicians, and industry power players. When Elon sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't just hint at things. He straight up called people out. He talked about Jennifer Lopez, who's been warning everyone about Trump, but Elon asked the question nobody else was brave enough to ask. How many people did J-Lo warn about Diddy? 0, not a single warning. And JLO was literally Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Elon said it plain and simple. Maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion. Interview.4.13 5.35 that one statement shook the internet because if someone like J-Lo, who was that close to Diddy, never said a word, what does that tell you? Either she didn't know, which seems impossible, or she knew and stayed silent, and if she stayed silent, why? What was she protecting? Or better question, who was she protecting? Now, let's start climbing this pyramid. Level 1 is Jay-Z and Beyonce. And you might be thinking, wait, they're only at the bottom. Just wait until you see who's above them. Jaguar Wright did an interview on Piers Morgan, and she said things she wasn't supposed to say. Things about Jay-Z and Diddy that the industry wanted.
Think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
It buried, and guess what happened? The episode got pulled off air just 48 hours after going live. And banned, gone, deleted. Jaguar asked a simple question that nobody could answer. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King on CBS and she doesn't ask him one single question about the connection between him, Aaliyah, and R. Kelly? How does that interview happen without addressing the elephant in
Lawsuit that's suing Tony Busby? Spiro is a partner, and Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name, but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
Mass panic. Mass panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
They can't. That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party, and I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams right after Diddy got arrested running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this. If all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the After Dark, why would you say, I left early? Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Exactly.
Because how would you know there was another party if you weren't informed?
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party. I didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known about it. You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party. It was a white party. It was dancing. It was wild. But at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party. I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have known about another.
Exactly.
In the room. She called both Diddy and Jay-Z monsters. She said they've had a fist of tyranny punching through the industry for decades. And then there's the Aaliyah conspiracy that refuses to die. A lot of people believe Jay-Z or Beyonce had something to do with Aaliyah's plane crash. The theory is that Aaliyah was too close to Jay-Z and someone saw her as a threat. Jaguar Wright straight up claimed that Jay-Z was responsible for getting Aaliyah on that faulty plane. She said it was punishment for Aaliyah rejecting him, and clearing Aaliyah out of the way made room for Beyonce, who was struggling at the time to rise to the top. Interview.7.0 1/7.54 now. I'm not saying this is confirmed, but the fact that people are even talking about it, and the fact that Jay-Z has never publicly addressed these rumors, that silence is loud. Here's another wild detail. When Diddy got charged and victims started coming forward to sue him, guess whose lawyer showed up? Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's personal lawyer. Alex Spiro started representing some of Diddy's victims. And people immediately started asking, why is Jay-Z's lawyer suddenly popping up everywhere in Diddy's case? Interview.8do 1/10.0 4 insiders are saying it's about silencing victims, controlling the narrative before more names get exposed. Because if Diddy starts talking, if he starts naming names, a lot of powerful people are going down with him. And Jay-Z allegedly doesn't want that to happen. And we can't talk about Jay-Z's rise without mentioning...
Next thing you know, she's f***ing Ray J. And then it's Grammy time. And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola has said, Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
Big L was the one who put Jay-Z on. He introduced Jay to Dame Dash at Rockefeller Records. Negotiations started for Big L and his crew to get a deal, but just days after those talks began, Big L was killed in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. The murder is still unsolved to this day. Jaguar Wright claims Big L's death was the first of many mysterious deaths that marked Jay-Z's rise to power. Coincidence? Maybe, but when you start connecting the dots, the pattern gets hard to ignore. Now we move up to level 2. This is where things get even darker. We're talking about Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis, the puppet masters of the entertainment industry. Let's start with Oprah. She's been photographed with Harvey Weinstein multiple times. And this wasn't just casual pictures. She was close to him. She pushed his projects. She showed up beside him at events. And this was happening even when rumors...
Your favorite memory working with Diddy?
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's a spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music, and I poured into his dream. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.
Rumors about Harvey were allowed in Hollywood. Survivors needed someone with Oprah's platform to speak up. But she stayed silent, and that silence made people think she was protecting the system instead of exposing.
1993, he and Clive Davis founded Bad Boy Records. Clive Davis, how do you describe Clive Davis? There's an infomercial about him now, which is a document. It's been called a documentary, and it makes him look like this benign octogenarian that's helped all these rock stars with their careers. But people in the music industry really don't like Clive Davis, most of them. And his criminality is kind of amazing.
It. Then there's the South Africa school scandal. Oprah invested $40 million into a school in South Africa. It was supposed to be her legacy project, but within months of opening, multiple girls accused the dorm matron, Virginia Makopo, of assault. Oprah flew in, fired people, and cried on camera. But critics said the story never added up. The big question is, did Oprah know more than she let on? Interview.11.42/12.20 old photos are resurfacing now, showing Oprah at the same private events where Diddy was throwing his infamous parties. Jaguar Wright and Dr. Umar Johnson both hinted that Oprah holds serious quiet power in Hollywood. The kind of power that keeps people too scared to cross her. The kind of power that can destroy careers with a single phone call. Now, let's talk about Clive Davis. This guy is 92 years old and he's been in the industry forever. He founded Arista Records back in 1974. He launched careers for legends like Billy Joel, Janis Joplin, and Carlos Santana. He came out as bisexual in the 1980s, and here's where it gets messy. Hip-hop mogul Suge Knight has claimed for years that Clive and Diddy were more than just mentor and protege. Suge said that Clive Davis told him directly that he and Puff were real tight. And when Suge asked what that meant, Clive allegedly clarified that they were lovers, not just business partners. Lovers. The man who preaches to thousands of people every Sunday is a pastor, a man of God, for months. 50 Cent has been hinting at TD Jake. He has been sharing content about himself on social media all the time. The notion that has everyone talking is this one. This blackmail ring is actually larger than Epstein if the corruption has reached the pulpit, much larger. Diddy required a location to
Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes and watches T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Tone for his transgressions. He required credibility. He wanted cover from someone he trusted and respected. And T.D. Jake is said to have helped with it. T.D. Jake's footage were positioned thoughtfully throughout the fourth installment.
Keep it moving. The worst that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from my heart. There's enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sins. I don't care what it is, the blood would fix it. But I ain't got to repent about this. All I got to do...
...of the 50 Cent's Diddy documentary. T.D. Jake abruptly shows up on television about going on a love rampage as Little Rod, complains about waking up sore after attending Diddy's parties. Many believe that 50 Cent intentionally included such footage. He's making the connections for us. We were alerted to this by Cat Williams. He predicted that everyone's lies would be exposed in 2024. All lies will be exposed regardless of who you are, Jay-Z, Diddy, T-Deke, or anybody else. 16.411724. Interview. Listen to T.D. Jake's response when
Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party. There could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties: money and sex.
Cassie has turned over substantial amounts of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with Blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that could...
He was questioned about the Diddy accusations. Keep it going, he said. The worst possible outcome, even if all I had to do was turn from my sins, everything was true. The blood has sufficient ability to atone for all forms of sin. However, I don't even need to feel guilty about this. 17.381757. Interview. The internet went crazy. He was accused of doing that, as guilty as hell. Because it is not how an innocent man would react. A man who is innocent disputes everything. If it were real, he wouldn't discuss repentance. The Jaguar regarding T.D. Jake, Wright made some startling statements. If Bishop, she said there were only two possible explanations for Jake's attendance.
Diddy and TD Jakes.
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin. Drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they go into those parties.
At a Diddy party, money or sex? At Diddy gatherings, that is the only thing that takes place. She further asserted that Cassie provided the federal government with copious amounts of material, audio and video records from Diddy's events. Furthermore, it is said that these recordings show influential politicians, performers, and artists engaging in activities they never intended for the general public to witness. 18.3519.01 interview. This is the genuinely unsettling part. According to Jaguar, several male escorts have come forward to confirm that TD Jake has had sex with several men during these gatherings. Additionally, there are
It's like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know.
Allegations that a young guy who was reportedly abused as a minor has now obtained legal representation. He's getting ready to file a lawsuit against TD Jake. Church sources claim that back in 2015, the parents of this young man received hush money to keep silent, but he wants justice now that he's an adult. Additionally, he no longer interacts with his parents because they stole the money and said nothing. Diddy's former bodyguard Gandil also discussed this. He wondered why a devout man would attend gatherings when open same-sex, drinking, and debauchery were taking place. Unless TD Jake was personally involved in what was happening at those gatherings, Gene said it's difficult to understand. 19.4821.11 interview. Gene added that he has heard that tapes will shortly be released. We will all know the truth once those tapes are released. Just cold, concrete proof, no more conjecture or speculations. Let's now relate this to something even more significant: the Epstein relationship. Elon Musk and Joe Rogan had a conversation about more than just Diddy. They discussed why Claw has the support of so many billionaires. Harris. Elon also claims that it's panic rather than policy. What's causing them to panic? Because the Epstein client list might become public if Trump wins. Some of the world's wealthiest and most influential names will come to light. Everyone will be able to view their secrets. Elon was asked by Joe Rogan if Reid Hoffman, a co-founder of LinkedIn, seems uneasy. Elon responded with a single word: Indeed. 21.5322.21. Interview. Joe Rogan likened Epstein's flawed agreement to Diddy's business. They both allegedly recorded influential people in precarious situations and exploited the material to employ blackmail to keep control. Who was feeding Diddy's youth and how many influential names are on those tapes are the disturbing questions. Melinda Gates even provided us with a hint. She left Bill Gates primarily because of his affair with Jeffrey Epstein. And this came after Epstein had already been found guilty of child molestation. When Melinda first encountered Epste, she claimed that simply being in his presence made her feel like the embodiment of evil. Imagine what Melinda must have known if the bond between Epstein and Bill Gates was strong enough for her to leave. One of the wealthiest men on the planet. Just picture what she witnessed. Dave Chappelle attempted to caution us years ago. The entertainment industry is a monster, he declared. The Me Too movement was attempting to expose the same monster. He made a statement that struck a deep chord when people questioned why he didn't simply do Chappelle's program at another network. Why doesn't a slave flee from one plantation to another? He questioned. Because you are still a slave even if the owner over there is kinder. Dave acknowledged that he was stuck. What does it say about everyone else if someone as successful and strong as Dave Chappelle felt stuck? This is far from the end of the story. More tapes will leak, more names will fall, and more truth will be revealed. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe that the true monster at the top of this pyramid is TD Jake? Or is there a more well-known name we haven't found yet? Leave a comment with your ideas. I'd want to know your thoughts. If you thought this was crazy, I assure you that the upcoming video delves even farther into the names that will be revealed. Everyone will be covered, including Naomi Campbell, Ashton Kutcher, and Meek Mill. The evidence is mounting and the list is lengthy. This is only the beginning, and as the tale develops, we will be here to cover every step. I'll see you at the next one.